Yes, so welcome to my review of the Soundpeats Opera05 or the Opera05. There is an Opera03. I don't have this. It's just this particular model indeed. And this is a more premium product from Soundpeats, which uses, I think, one dynamic driver and two balanced armatures plus the usual LDAC, which they seem to be doing now. And yeah, as usual, full disclaimer, Soundpeats sent these to me to try out and review, so thank you very much. I was not paid to do this video, and all thoughts and opinions are my own. And as when this video is made, they will be on a Kickstarter, and then I think sometime after that they'll be available more publicly for more money. So early bird kind of discount, shall we say. And yeah, let's get into it. So kind of the fancy kind of packaging, like reflective kind of image. So some specs, as you can see. Frequency range 20 to 40, which is way more. 9 hours. It will actually be less than that using LDAC. That 9 hours is with SBC, with the modes off, so bear that in mind. Some information there, the website. And yeah, so again, this is a more premium option from them. As you can see, normally with a driver count. So we have user guide, I'll do in the next clip. The earbuds themselves got this kind of gold effect, if you like that. And it says here your imagination. I think the gold's a bit much, but that's what it is. Obviously type C for charging. That's for like resetting them and pairing them. Get this out. Yes, very gold. I'm not really keen on that, but it is what it is. Also, if your fingers are a bit slippery or greasy, it's harder to grip. The magnets are quite strong. Anyway, that's what it looks like. So left unit quite big. Now, when you get them, there'll be protection. It charges there and there. So when you first get them, there'll be blue little tabs. So you just take them off. Obviously, touch controls. This thing is massive, which I'll talk about later on as a negative, unfortunately. Put them back in. And here you get tips, but I've already been using these. So you get small, medium, large, essentially. They're like that. And that's quite stiff, this part which goes over the nozzle. And a type C. So that's it. I'll quickly show you one without the that's it. So that's what it looks like without the tips on. So it's like a bronze. Build quality is very high. Probably one of the best I've ever seen kind of for the price. And yeah, so next clip will be the user guide. In here, so the next clip. Let's quickly go over the user guide. It is very useful, like normal. So it's in about, as you can say, 7 languages. So to pair them, you have to do that. It's the same if you want to pair it to another device separately. It's all very straightforward. Reset point and how to get them to fit. The controls, that it's easier on the next page, but that's the controls. And that's them there. There's also again, there's no previous track, which seems to be when they use, if it's got modes, as you can see, that would be like a previous track or something, but that's what the colours do. And that's pretty much it. So next clip, I'm going to go over the app. Then after that, be a mic test, and then on to the review. So this is a look over of the actual app. I was requested last time to try and use the app, so here we are. So you have to log in and make an account. It's super easy, not what I prefer to do, but it's there. This is the main screen, so as you can see, 100% either. If you click the top left corner, those 3 dashes, that's just to see if there's a firmware upgrade or and change the language of the app. So if you click the bottom left, volume control, classics, if you click here, you can that's the level of EQ if you want to do that. I don't think you need to. And there's you can do it manually with the noise reduction, ANC mode on or off, and transparent mode, and disable touch key 1 click back to middle, and that's pretty much it. So it's really basic, but one thing I like to have seen is if you could change the commands, like what the buttons do, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, this is just a quick microphone test of the Soundpeats 05. Obviously I'm using them in stereo, got them in both ears. I'm in a quiet room, and this is what I would class as a normal speaking conversation kind of volume. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now you just see in the app, which is okay. It's a bit basic, but it's not too bad at all. If you want to play around with the EQ or do the firmware, there's also, I did do a firmware upgrade, but I haven't really noticed any difference. It only took a couple of minutes. Mic was actually very good. So yeah, let's get into these. Let's get a bad thing out the way. Comfort. Now these things are massive. Now I had to keep adjusting it. I didn't really like how these fitted. I think they're far too big, but that's just my opinion. And I don't really like all the gold, like the bling, to make it. I know they've done that to make it look like it's premium, but I didn't really kind of like that. But yeah, so battery life. So it says 9 hours. You won't get that. Only SBC. If you want to use all the modes on with LDAC, you'll get closer to 5 to 6 hours. And the case can charge them roughly three times over. So that's not too bad at all. That's it. So obviously you've seen the case before. And yeah, just get these out again. So obviously touch controls. Again, like I just felt, if your fingers are greasy, when you attach this part to pull out, it can slip. So maybe an oversight. But anyway, so you like the mic. Mic's good. One of the best I think I've tried, especially for this type. Normally the ones with the stem, I found typically have better mics because it's close to your mouth. But I think the mic on this is actually quite good. Yeah, so talk about connection. So connection wise, I thought it's for me again. It was perfect, 100%. Didn't drop once. I didn't use these for any more than 10 meters from my phone, but again, it worked fine. I was quite happy with it. Like all Soundpeats gear, they all seem to be, for my use, perfect. So I was actually quite happy with that. Controls work fine. Nothing to real shout about, really. Obviously, I spoke about the comfort, which is a shame. ANC and ambient mode and off. So by default, when you use these, there's no modes on, which I like. And then the next one is active mode cancellation and then ambient. I'd have preferred it the other way. So we off, ambient, active mode cancellation, and there's also a prompt. There's a female voice that says what it is when you change modes, which is good. And they do work fine. I've heard better, but again they do cost more. Like that Sennheiser I've done fairly recently, that they were better, but they were a lot more expensive. Same for like the Sony XM4s and all that. But yeah, so I'm quite happy with how it works as a Bluetooth device. And sound, yeah. So sound, overlay the graph. Now it does graph quite similar to what the others are, considering this is a hybrid. So bass, it reminds me of the Karn in its presence. So it's very clean up to the lower mid range. So it gives you more that subwoofer kind of effect. It did a good job really. I thought for true wireless, the low end is fine really. Nothing amazing, but not bad at all really. It has that big hump, so it's more of a mid bass presence. But it does sound kind of cleaner because there's no bleed into the mid range. But yeah, not too bad at all really. Nothing to shout about, but it's fine. Mid range I thought was fairly clean. You can see it starts to elevate slowly. The gain's not too bad. Gain's not any more, and it's just not much to say really. Everything sounds quite clean really. Quite crisp. The trebles, the different part, which we'll get to. But yeah, again, not much to say really. It's kind of run-of-the-mill mid-range, not bad. Probably not the best either, but it's quite clean and it separates. There's no mud or bleed or nothing like that, so it sounds quite clean. So treble, this is probably the latest Soundpeats. It seems to me the most detailed. Now you can see there's a lot of treble. So I think there's a real spike close to the 8K, plus there's that 6K. Just over 5K peak. Now it depends on your genre. Some people may find this a little bit fatiguing. I did in certain tracks if it's heavy treble. If you've got some rock music, you may notice that. But everybody listens to so much stuff, I can't really say really, but yeah, it was very clear, very crisp. I was happy with the sheer sound quality of what these are, but I prefer a bit of a smoother treble, and I think the dip and then you popping back up is not the best. But they're not too bad at all. I think they need probably a touch more refinement in the treble, but everything is quite clear. Instrument separation is good from the BA, whatever BAs they've used. It just needs more work with the refining, considering this is a TWS. They could DSP it manually and smooth that off. That's probably what they could have done, but it is what it is, and it's not too bad at all. Nothing amazing. It just sounds a bit more brighter and detailed to their normal ones, like the Capsule Pro did and the Pro HS. It's like brighter versions of those in a way. And I think that's pretty much it. Stage, before I go, was, I wish it could have been better. You can see the treble drops off, but it is what it is. Same for imaging. And yeah, so conclusion, do I recommend these? I think from the company, I've probably tried, I prefer the other models, to be honest. Some people I think will like the treble from these. Again, another LDAC. People might like all the gold. In a way, it just sounded a little bit more superior, but I do like the other models. Also, these obviously do have LDAC. Now, for media use, it works fine, but for gaming, there's always going to be a delay. So I forgot to mention that. Got it in there. Overall, it works fine. The battery life's fine if you play it on low settings, the the SBC. Or if you want it does sound better with LDAC, noticeably better. So you have to bear that in mind. So you have to take the hit with the battery life. But the worst thing for me, I think, was the fit and the comfort. You have to constantly adjust it. I wouldn't use this for running or anything like that, but for normal media consumption and your music, it just sounds okay. It can be a little bit spicy in the treble, but mid-range is fine, bass is fine, the connectivity is fine, the modes are pretty good, not the best, like I said, but pretty good. Overall, they're not a bad set. It's just, I think they're too big, and they need a sound refinement, and apart from that, they're pretty good, really. So I think that's pretty much it. I've covered quite a bit. If you know anything in particular, let me know in the comments and stuff as usual, and see you in the next video.